Nice to see you. What is your name and what is your position with WMBK?
My name is Jamall Bufford, and I am the Executive Director of Washington on My Brother's Keeper.
How many years have you been involved with WMBK, and how did you get involved?
I've been involved with WMBK for about 8 years. I started out just going to the breakfast.
Okay.
Then I was asked to be on the steering committee, and I've been in this leadership role for 6 years.
Okay, very nice. In your position, what does your participation with WMBK look like on a daily, monthly, or weekly basis?
My participation looks a lot of different ways. I would say right now, for the most part, as I'm kind of getting a new hire acclimated, so that I can transition more fully into an executive / administrative role. I'm supporting my new hire, my program manager, Christian Knotts, in his beginning phases of being kind of a program lead and facilitator, so that he can be the main point person in attendance at our programs to make sure that they're running smoothly, and facilitating circles with young men, our restorative circles with our young keepers. Eventually, that'll be solely on him, and then I will be beginning my process of trying to establish deeper connections in our community to support the work that we do, go after larger grants and funding opportunities, and do more policy work, and trying to impact our youth on a larger scale with local, state, even maybe national policies and legislation to kind of change the trajectory of the futures of our young men.
That's fantastic. So have you always had an interest in this community-based work, or has it been new? And if it's new, when did it develop for you?
I would say it's new. I started my youth work and community work journey probably about 16 years ago. And that started with really just wanting to share my love for hip hop with young people.
Okay.
I started out as the MC program, workshop program coordinator at the Neutral Zone Teen Center downtown Ann Arbor. Then I became the music coordinator, working with all the music programs. So that was about 16 years ago. And really, it was just really sharing my love for hip hop, and then that grew into exposing young people to other different types of opportunities and exposures, just to help them find their passions and to support them in any way that I could.
That's great. What is your background or work outside of WMBK, and how has that kind of influenced your approach to the work you do with WMBK?
Outside of WMBK, my first love and passion and career was being a rapper, and being involved in hip hop culture. And that started over 30 years ago when I was a teenager. And my experience in hip hop is really, I tell people all the time, I graduated from the University of Michigan, but really I graduated from the School of Hip Hop, because that's where I learned what it means to be in community with people, how to be a public speaker and be in front of large groups and lead, and be resourceful when it comes to limited resources, working in community to build something. So I learned all that from hip hop.
That's fantastic. So how does your work with WMBK fit into your passion and life goals?
My work with WMBK fits into my passion by, again, being able to share my love for this culture called hip hop. We have a program called Formula 734, which is a direct connection to youth musicians and young adult musicians, and helping them, find their voice, and utilizing hip hop as a means to be a therapeutic outlet, a means to make money, a means to be in community with other young black and brown men, So, yeah, I think, hip hop, I even as I get older, it's always going to be a part of me and hopefully always be a part of the work that I do.
How would you describe WMBK's purpose and impact to those who are unfamiliar with the organization?
WMBK is a youth serving organization that's a part of the national initiative that was started by Barack Obama and the Obama Foundation, and it's designed to support young Black and brown men and helping them counter some of the barriers that we face in this country, whether that's the criminal justice inequity or educational inequity or economic inequity. And so providing opportunities and supports for them, and it could look a lot of different ways. It could look from helping them find a job, helping them find housing, just helping them, be in community again with people who look like them, whether it's young people in the school building or older young folks, young adults, finding safe spaces, especially in Washtenaw County when those type of spaces aren't readily available all the time.
So can you tell me a story about something unique or impactful that has happened to you while working at WMBK?
I would say something that was unique or impactful during my time has been my involvement with the Community Violence Intervention Team.
Okay.
Utilizing the work that we do to try to curb some of the gun violence in our community has been a big part of this work. And, it's learning to be a part of an ecosystem. So playing your part, being a piece of the puzzle to this whole community violence intervention work. Some people are the people who are boots on the ground when violence happens to kind of help curb the violence, steer young people away from retaliation, helping the families in the immediate aftermath of gun violence, being there to, kind of address the grief and the trauma of gun violence. Our role is, our intention is to hopefully reach young people before they ever decide to pick up a gun.
Okay.
And teaching them about, self-regulation and social emotional learning and conflict resolution and different ways to resolve issues and restorative ways to resolve issues. And so that's been a big part of it. And, even in my role, kind of when our CVI team at times can have a difference of opinion or disagreements, I use my restorative background to bring us back to the table again, because we're all vital pieces to ending gun violence. And the numbers shown, in the summer of 2021, there was a lot of gun violence in Washtenaw County that resulted in the loss of a lot of young Black and brown men. I believe from Washtenaw County Health Department reports, between 2019 and 2023, we lost 17 young Black and brown men between the ages of 16 and 24. In the last 3 years, that number has gone to 3, so one per year. Not perfect, we still have a lot of work to do, but I think we're trending in the right direction, and I think that's a result of everybody in this community that's played a part in ending some of this gun violence in our community.
Tell me one example of how you made a difference in a young person's life, and then kind of expand upon that.
Well, I'll just say, I won't point to one particular young person, but I will just say that I find it very encouraging and inspiring that young people who I might have met along the way 10, 12, 13, 15 years ago still feel that they can reach out to me when they need support, even if they're an adult now. Some of our young people have come from very challenging upbringings and backgrounds, and sometimes they may get caught up with the law or whatever, and I feel like our role is to support young Black and brown men wherever they are, meeting them where they are, and whether they are, honor students and, just looking for internship opportunities, or they have been in the, been court involved since they were a young person. And, they might need 2 or 3 chances. Sometimes a second chance isn't enough, especially in this climate, in this culture, in this country. Some of our young people need second, third, maybe even fourth chances. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but as much as the odds are stacked against us, I think some of our young people deserve those opportunities. So, I'm thinking of a young man right now who I've been working with since he was probably 14, 15, who's now 24, who's struggled some with mental health issues, not a lot of family support, being court involved, and, right now he's working, he's got a job, and, he's excited about his future. And, a lot of that just comes from relationship building. Like if these young people didn't feel like they could come to us, then our work wouldn't be that effective. We're not like rocket scientists or anything, or solving, world issues, but it starts with the relationship. Yeah. So that's probably what I'm most proud of, is how we approach this work. And there's a lot of different ways to do this type of work. Some people are my way or the highway type folks, and that works for some people. I like to meet young people where they are, and let them know that them being who they are is okay. And a lot of times that may not work in all spaces, but that's why we create the spaces that we do, so that they can feel comfortable. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stories that I could point to, but just the fact that young people, even in their adulthood, their early and young adulthood, feel like they can reach out to me and my team of keepers and my WMBK steering committee members for support, can reach out to us for support. I think that says something.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Fear is just a construct of us when confronted with the tough times. Luck is just another side of hope. You get one what's on the other side, fronting on another spot like Cain to have a brother tying rope. Is it dope?